By nature, men always fight. They cannot live without victories and without getting their way. So men, they are a bit out of understanding what is going on. They go deep into their idea, and for them it is difficult to see the surroundings, to understand the present situation, and you must not blame them for them. It is crazy to blame a man for not understanding the situation. Do you see that? For example, a man, he stands on his point. What should a woman do? She must agree with him or just leave. She may say, I agree with you, and then go off cooking. Well, just do something. If a man starts his philosophy, what should you do? You just agree and you go off and you cook. Do you need to argue with him? Can you defeat a man? No, it's impossible. Because a man, he is like a train, and he moves towards his purpose. The train goes on. He moves to the purpose, he cannot stop. It's his life. If you want to stop him, you are going to destroy him. Let him move on. If the train reaches a dead end, then what? Just the same, he will go back and very fastly, and if you ask him, why did you go back? He will answer, I always understood that I was supposed to go back and not there. Then why did you go there? Just to make sure. Do you see, he has a different logic. A woman, she does what is right, and a man, he does as he understands. Do you see the difference? If the man does not do as he understands, then he is not a man, or he is underdeveloped. A developed man, he does as he understands, and you must not change his mind. The woman, she must leave man's understanding alone. She must not torture him about it. But the woman, she must correct his understanding. These are two different things. For example, the man decided to build a house immediately. Take a big loan and build a house right now. That's it. Should you tell him that he should not build? No. You must sit down next to him and ask him, how are you going to build a house? And he will tell you, I'm going to do this and that, I'm going to take a bit loan. Then you must tell him, that is great, that is a brilliant idea, you must inspire him. The train, it goes ahead, you must allow it. Then you flip the switch. How do you do that? You must say, let us draw the house. I agree with you completely. Let's just draw it. Now, we both have this much per month, and we must give away this much. You see the difference? I understand that we are going to give this money back, but I have some doubts. And just as calmly he will say, we are going to take 2 times less money and we are going to build half the house, but we are going to build it right now. Yes, that is right. Now see, we have a debt from last time. When are we going to give it back? Now or later? If later, then Peter, he's going to kill us. Do you remember it? Oh, now you do. Well, okay, now we're building the house as quickly as possible, just as soon as we get the money back. Do you understand the system? In other words, we are not building the house, we are giving the money back to Peter, just as we used to. Nothing changes, but the goal is to build the house, and we are moving towards it. What happened? It all goes as it used to, the life is just the same, but the goal is there, and it is good. That means the husband, he wouldn't drink, smoke, and just go. The woman is usually afraid when she hears such things from her husband, like, oh, we're going parachute jumping. You must not be afraid. The woman, she must see the details and sober up her husband. She can flip the switch and the train would go backwards, but the husband wouldn't see it, really. Do you understand? So, the man by nature, they are really determined, they have this idea, and the woman, she cannot destroy this idea, she just must put it into parts, she must see the details, and the idea in time may switch to the opposite one, and it is still normal. But the man, he must always move. Even this forward is moving backwards, it's still forward for him. The next point. Now see, when women listen to the lecture, what do they do? Well, you cannot see yourself, but you do it like this. Now look. They catch every word, they trust every word, they write it down, and they do just the same, without changing everything. So from this point of view, when women receive knowledge, they easily master it and they implement them perfectly. Now, how do men listen? Look at me, it does not mean that they are worse, they are different. Men listen like this. So they do not mind me, but they just listen differently. Do you see the difference? They are completely different. They listen with some doubt. Why is that? Because by nature, men doubt and not trust. They doubt in order to understand better. So, women are better in the area where they understand better, and men are better in the area where they have some doubts and questions. The psyche is completely different, and it is crazy to blame a man for doubting. For example, a woman says, Oleg Gennadievich, why wouldn't he listen to the lectures? I like the lectures, I follow everything, and he wouldn't even listen. That's nature. It doesn't mean that he does not agree, it's just that he needs to check it. Men need to check everything. And a woman, she just accepts. The next quality of the man. Man by nature, they are unable to understand the situation deeply. They are immersed in what they are immersed. And so, a woman must take him out of this emerging and not blame him for being inattentive. There are a few steps how to behave with a husband who watches a hockey game. How do you make so that he pays attention to you? Step 1. You sit next to your husband and you watch the hockey game. Step 2. You hug him. Step 3. You say, I like the way Harlamov plays. In this moment, you are in his field of view. He will say, well, sure. Who would have doubted? Step 4. You hug him even tighter and you say, you would have played better. And in that moment, he gets distracted from the TV. It's a blow below the belt, then he will look at you. He will look at you, and as soon as he does, you must say, how are you doing, my darling? Do you understand the system? Now, if you approach him and he watches hockey and you ask him, how are you doing, darling? What result do you get? Zilch. And it is your fault, it's your problem, and not the man's problem, who cannot respond to your words, because he is busy with hockey. He must be prepared for such words. Now, women, try to understand that. Respecting a woman means kind and gentle behavior next to her. This is the only way to respect a woman. Kind and gentle behavior and attentiveness. This is the way to respect a woman. Then respecting a man is absolutely different. No, men need different things. A man needs so that you, at least outwardly, I understand that it is really difficult because women are disobedient by nature, but at least outwardly, when next to your husband, you must look as if there is no one else and no other understanding in this world than his. At least outwardly. No inner work is not required from you. The man, he does not need it. Do you think he cares about your opinion? No. He needs you to look like this. Yes, my darling. If you ask your man if he needs your opinion, know that he does not. He only needs your agreement with his opinion. Is it right, man? Now, let's vote. Your wife has her opinion, but she always does this thing. She looks at you and says, yes, my darling, I agree with you. But she has her opinion. Now, men, raise your hands who does not agree with such behavior. There are no one. There is no one. There is one. We'll talk about it. There is just one. And this is normal. Now, the second option. A woman disagrees with you and insists on her opinion. Raise your hands who likes it. No one. Now, there are men who believe that a woman can agree both outwardly and inwardly. know that it is impossible.
А? Что есть?
It's possible.
Так кто должен говорить, мужчина или женщина? Возможно.
Men are not supposed to answer.
Хорошо, возможно.
Women
Хорошо,
should.
возможно.
Okay, it's possible.
Женщины, поднимите
Women,
руки, которые считают,
raise
что
your
это
hands
возможно.
who
Соглашаться с
think
мужчиной
that it
и
is
снаружи,
possible
и внутри.
to agree with men both outwardly and inwardly.
Микрофончик.
Pass a microphone. There is one woman who raised her hand. May I say one thing?
Да.
Yes. I value my wife's opinion.
Где человек?
Where is this person?
Если вы цените
If you
мнение
value
своей
your
жены,
wife's opinion,
тогда это
then
возможно.
it is possible
Женщина согласилась и снутри,
for
и снаружи.
your wife to agree with you
Но
both inwardly and
это
outwardly.
очень трудно
But it
для
is
мужчины
extremely
ценить мнение
difficult
своей жены. Это
for a man
аскеза.
to
А мы
value
сейчас
his
говорим
wife's opinion. It's an
для женщин,
austerity.
про мужчин. Понятно?
And we are now just speaking about men for all the
Большинство
women.
мужчин
Most
даже
men
вообще не понимают,
do not
что у
even
женщины может
understand
быть свое мнение.
that a woman can have her own opinion.
У них непонимания этого даже
They
нет.
do not understand
То,
it.
чтобы ценить мнение женщин.
And there is no speaking of
Мужчине очень
valuing
трудно понять,
it.
что у жены
It is
может
difficult
быть
for a
свое
man to
мнение.
understand that his wife
Мужчины в
can
основном
have an
считают,
opinion.
что какое у меня мнение,
Men
такое у
mostly
жены.
think that the way I think, my wife thinks,
Или примерно так они
or
считают. Так
something
устроена
like that.
психика мужчины.
That's the
Мужчине
way
очень трудно
men's
почувствовать
psyche
и понять,
works.
что у женщины есть свое мнение.
It is hard for them.
Точно так же, как женщине очень трудно
Just
принять
as well
мнение мужа.
as a woman
Почему? Потому
cannot
что женщина
accept her
эксплуатирует
husband's
мужчину.
opinion
Так как
because
женщина
she
эксплуатирует
exploits him.
мужчину, поэтому
Because she
у
exploits
женщины
him.
всегда будет работать одна и та же
She
система.
always has one
Если у
system
мужчины есть
working.
какое-то мнение,
If a man has an opinion,
это значит,
that means
что у меня есть 1000 замечаний к
that
этому
I have
мнению.
1000
замечаний.
objections
Согласны,
to it.
женщины?
Do you agree?
Согласны.
Yes.
Конечно же, бывает и так, что женщина
course,
согласна и
it
снаружи, и
happens
снутри с мужем.
Like this,
Но это
when
святая
the
женщина.
wife, she agrees with her husband
Сейчас мы говорим о
completely, but it
святости,
is
мы
a
сейчас
saint
говорим о
woman.
обычной жизни,
And we are not
о том,
speaking
что в
of
обычной жизни.
saintly people, we are
Итак,
talking of ordinary life.
женщина должна учиться внешне соглашаться
The
с
woman
мнением
must
мужа.
learn to agree with her
тогда
husband
она
outwardly,
получит
and then
возможность
she will have an
высказывать свое
opportunity to
Потому
speak
что
her
когда
mind.
женщина соглашается с мнением
Because
мужчины,
when she
мужчина
agrees,
расслабляется психически
The man gets
и готов
relaxed and he is ready
выслушать мнение
to
жены.
listen to her
Потому
wife,
что
to his wife's
мужчине не
opinion,
важно,
because the man does not
останется
care
или его мнение главным.
if his
Ему важно,
opinion
что с ним
stays the main
согласились,
one.
попытайтесь
He
это
just
понять.
cares about being agreed
Женщины.
with. Please understand it, women.
Ага, интересно. Ну-ка.
That's interesting. Let's listen.
Вы хотите жить с мужем?
Do you want to live with your husband? Of course I
я
do.
так, между
Well,
прочим.
I'm just asking in case.
Ну, рассказывайте.
Tell me now. My husband, he rejects my ways and I boil on the inside. Please tell me how to behave.
А почему у вас все скипает?
Why do you boil? I have bad character?
Просто у вас нет понимания.
No, you just lack understanding. Is it a sin if I allow my husband to say bad things?
Вот уже ближе.
Well, this is closer to truth.
Смотрите.
Now see,
Мужчина имеет природу
a man by
того,
nature
кто всегда берет другую крайность.
is the one who takes the
Это
opposite
не
extremity.
согласие, а поиск. Мужчина
Men,
ищет.
they do not agree, they search.
Он не соглашается, а
He
ищет.
does not agree, he searches.
Если он вам говорит, что
And
эти все
if he
монахи
tells
бездельники
you
там или
that
еще
all
что-то
these
такое,
monks are
это его
idle
поиск
people,
просто, и всё.
it's just his search. And what about bad karma?
Решение кармы — это когда
Karma
женщина
gets worse when a woman cannot agree and forgive her husband.
Когда мужчина поезд идет
When a
не
man,
туда, это не
when his train goes the wrong way, it is not karma getting worse, because then it will turn around.
который будет с ним
Or maybe
соглашаться.
he will go with a different woman who would agree with him. So I must not allow any disagreements.
Вы знаете, проблема заключается
You
в
know,
том,
the
что вы
problem
не
is that
понимаете,
you do not understand
что доброта к мужчине.
what kindness towards man is.
Проблема заключается в том, что у вас нет к нему
The problem is that you have no compassion for him,
при этом вы себя считаете религиозным
and
человеком.
at the same time you think that you are a religious person.
Если вы просто улыбнетесь,
If you just smile back at him and say,
ты сегодня жареную картошку будешь или макароны,
"Would you like fried potatoes today or
то он
spaghetti?"
Бога поймет гораздо лучше.
then he will understand God a bit faster. Do you know why?
Потому что вы как раз и есть та личность,
Because you are
которая
the
родилась
person
для того, чтобы он понял Бога.
who was
А он
born
как
for
раз и
him
есть та
to understand
личность,
God.
которая родилась рядом с вами.
And here's
Чтобы вы
the
ему
personality
объяснили, кто такой Бог.
next to you,
Теперь садитесь, я вам кое-что интересное.
so that you could explain him who God is.
Надо знать, что
You must know that
женщины разум имеют в сердце.
women have their
Женщины
good
истину
sense in
понять
their
в
heart,
1000 раз быстрее,
and so it
чем
is
мужчине.
much easier for them to understand the truth.
Если она
A woman is
хочет
the
выполнять
heart
свои
of a
обязанности.
man if she
Сердце
performs her
означает
duties.
любовь. Любовь начинается
The
с
heart, it
прощения.
means love, and love
Если
starts
человек
with
не может
forgiveness.
прощать недостатки
If a
близкого
man
человека,
cannot
то он
forgive
просто его проклинает.
the shortcomings of his
Это
close
влияние,
person,
мужчина это поступок.
it's a curse.
Если мужчина говорит, что
If a man
Бога
says
нет,
that there is no God, for
то это
example,
значит, рядом с ним
then
нет
it
жены,
means that there is
которая
no
бы
wife next to
его
him
сердце
who
несла
would
это знание.
bring this knowledge into his heart.
Нет
This is
женщины
it.
доброй, которая бы способна была.
There is no woman next to him with kind heart who could reach him.
Мужчина — это воля и разум жены,
The man
а
is
женщина — это сердце
will
мужа.
and sense
Его
of the
истина.
wife, and
И
the
для того,
wife
чтобы
is
истина пришла
the
к
truth and the
мужчине,
heart of
женщина
man.
должна всего одной квалификации обладать.
And the woman must have one qualification.
Спокойно
She must
принимать
calmly
любое его высказывание,
accept
не обращая
anything
на это
he
внимания.
says without paying
Просто
attention.
спокойно выслушала,
She just
накормила
must listen
макаронами.
calmly, feed him
Сказала,
spaghetti, and
когда он уже наелся,
once he is fed,
когда мужчина наелся, он по-добрый становится, начинает слушать.
when the man is full, he is kind and he listens, she can tell him
Бывают случаи жизни святых людей.
some story from the life of saintly people,
Тихонечко, по-доброму.
just
Просто,
quietly
что
and
вас
calmly,
вдохновило в этом.
just to inspire.
Пройдет немножко времени, и он будет...
Time
это
will
всё.
pass and he will study it all.
Но если ваш муж
But
атеист,
if your husband
то
is
это
an
значит,
atheist,
что в вашей
that
сердце нет
means
капли любви,
that there
ни
is
капли любви
not a
по
single
отношению к
drop
нему.
of love in your heart for him.
Мужчины выражается
Man's
в отсутствии
atheism
любви к
manifests in
Богу,
the lack of
а
love for
атеизм
God,
женщины
and women's
выражается в
atheism
отсутствии любви к
manifests
Богу.
in lack of love for husband.
Понятно, да?
Do you understand it?
Атеизм.
That's
Потому что Бог
atheism.
женщине дал чувствовать
Because
себя, ощущение себя.
God allowed women to
Женщина
feel
может
Him.
чувствовать Бога,
Women can
своей
feel
природе,
God by
потому
nature,
что сердце близко
because
к Богу.
their
Если
heart is
женщина
close to God. But
не
if
способна прощать,
a woman cannot forgive her husband,
неспособность чувствовать Бога, то она такая же
cannot forgive his disability to feel God, she is just as atheist as he is.
Слышали меня?
Do you hear me?
Я слышала, уже, верно, я уже в отчаянии.
But I'm already desperate. How do I behave?
Лекцию. Постепенно
Listen on,
придет. Это
and
же не
gradually
то,
the understanding
что
will
вы
come.
плохой человек.
It's
Просто
not
вы
like you're a
наказываете.
bad person, you've just been punished in life.
Наказание проходит, когда есть заслуги.
Punishment is gone when you have some merits.
Вот сейчас вы узнали.
Now you know how to behave.
Мужа.
You must listen to your husband and pay them no attention.
Если вы любили кого-то, вы обратили бы внимание
Like, if you loved someone, would you
на его слова?
pay attention to his words?
Ну вот смотрите, приведу пример.
No,
Ваш
I'll give you an
ребенок
example.
говорит вам:
Your
«Мама,
child,
Бога нет»,
he tells
а вы его
you,
любите.
Mom, there is no
Какая
God, and you love your child. What is your reaction?
А?
I would think he just misspoke.
Рядом с мужем, говорите,
Yes,
как ребенок,
and just
точно так же.
the same, you sit next to your husband and treat him like a baby.
Почему ты так
Who
говоришь?
told you that? Why would you say that? Let's go eat spaghetti. It's too late. And this is it.
Это называется любовь.
This is called love.
Это любовь к мужу называется.
This is love for your husband.
Вы услышали, поняли, что такое любовь к мужу?
Do you hear me?
Все, я вам желаю успеха.
I wish you good luck.
Пытайтесь это понять, что
Try to
отношения
understand that
мужчине и женщине должна разные проявлять. Иногда она
women
как мать
should
с ним
express
говорит.
different
Иногда
relationships. Sometimes she's like a mother for her husband, sometimes she's like a
это всё
daughter.
разнообразие, это называется любовь.
This
Вот, например,
variety,
мужчина
it
как бы
is
что-то
love.
говорит важное, можно как дочь себя вести смиренно.
When man,
Когда он
he says
говорит
something
глупости, можно
important, you
подойти
can
к
be
нему,
his
подойти и
daughter.
сказать: «Кто тебе сказал?»
When he says something stupid, you can behave like his mother.
Картинка.
And immediately there's a picture, it gets in place, because love conveys knowledge. You can easily convey knowledge with love, but you must have this love, and for that you must accept your close person as he is. It is hard for a woman to understand that men do not naturally have knowledge from the heart, and she is constantly nervous. Oh, he is so dumb, these are the simplest things. He is not the one who is dumb. It's just that you do not understand that you are in the body of a woman and that you must deliver some things to him. A woman is the heart of the husband, and if she blames him for misunderstanding it and not giving him this knowledge, she just does not perform her duty. Do you hear me, women? This is important. My husband is dumb, he does not know this and that. Great. That means that you have a lot of work and you must gently make him understand.
Спасибо.